Okay, so for the purpose of this demonstration, what we've got here is just a normal resin building, unpainted, everything else. So what we're going to do is quickly whip through painting it, preparing it, and then obviously using the washes and then the pigments to really bring it to life. And I can show you just how quick we can actually do this sort of in real time. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put some paper towel down just to catch some of the overspray, and then obviously what we're going to do is just going to come along very, very quickly. Just going to start off with your standard sort of brick red colour. So we're just going to use some brown. So we've got here some earth brown. So we just give this a good old shake. Okay, so we're not going to actually thin this, we're going to spray this neat. Now the reason for doing it neat is that what we can actually do, we attach the trigger itself, that's better. What we can actually do is it will give us a nice texture to go onto. So what we're going to do is quickly whipping around doing the brickwork, like so. Obviously we're doing the door a different colour in a minute. Something like that. And obviously it's got a nice texture on it, so hopefully it will go through well. So we're just going to okay, so that's the brown work, very, very quickly, just on like that. Okay, and as I said, this is just a quick go at this. This is nothing particularly special. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a grey for doing the roof. If we've got one with plenty of paint, let's just pick something like this one. Okay, so then just got standard sort of grey paint. Okay, so what we're going to do is just going to quickly blow in the actual roof with this grey. Just on the top like that. Okay. Just like that. And as I say, it is just a very, very fast, quick one of doing this. Okay, so there we go, that's that done just like that. So what we'd do, if we just grab a piece of paper, something like this, and what we can do, we can just pop that in like so, just to mask up that edge. Okay. Okay, that one's just in like that. And then obviously we'll just do same for under here. Just in like that. Okay, we'll just do the same up in here. Okay. Same here. There we go. Obviously, you know, you take a lot more time doing this to actually get your nice finishes and everything. So if we just do under here, Okay, and under here, just like that. Here. And there we go, that takes care of our little roof area, just a little bit. Okay, then obviously you could go around, paint your doors and your different windows effect as you wanted to, just by hand. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pick a bit of a light tan, light grey colour for the doors and the concretey bits, just like that. Then obviously we can pick out properly and give this the nicer weathering in a moment. So as I say, this is all really in real time and just a very quick run round. So I'll just offload what's in the airbrush. There we go, so we've got the light grey, XF19 if you're interested. Okay, so that's that one. So then all we're going to do is just going to put it round this door area. There again, we don't want to go too far over our nice other work, so we're just going to mask up just a little bit. So we just do here as well. Okay. Just in like that, so it gives us our door. As I say, we'll take care of that with some nice weathering in a moment. And then I think we've got round here, we've got another type of door, so we'll just do the same. Top and side, just like that. And then what we'll do, for the areas all round, Ethan, just looking for a brush. Sometimes it's better brush, so we'll just use this one. Okay, just got plenty of paint on the brush. We're just going to do this little lintel on the top. Just like that, other lintel. Just like so. That's those done. Let me just do these around here. A bit of a lintel. Those on just like so. So what we do is put the lids on that. Okay, we're going to let that dry totally off just for a couple of minutes. We're not going to do anything to it apart from literally give it a bit of a time to dry off and harden up and everything, so it's nice and touchable. And then we can come along with the washes and with the pigments and the various things like that to really get this thing going. But that's just a quick, easy, fast way of painting up your building just like that. So we're going to give that about 10 minutes just to dry off. Okay, so now I've been drying for about sort of 20 minutes. I've got some normal water in the tub just there, and obviously we've got our weathering. Now it can get a bit messy here. With all the weathering, depending on what type of finish you want, I know we speak about this a lot, if you wanted just a normal straightforward weathering, not much at all, then put a couple of coats of clear gloss on. If you want it to be quite grubby, then actually put on something like a satin, and then obviously if you want a real dirty look to everything, put on a flat coat. Obviously the reason why the pigments and obviously the washes get caught up in the texture and then bring out obviously that side of it, so obviously it's getting caught in there, it's going to get a lot stuck, very hard to get off obviously on gloss. Now we've done this over a flat finish, so it's going to be quite grippy. Now what we're going to do, we'll start off with by using the mud. Okay, with everything sometimes it settles in the bottom, so make sure it's had a good old shake and a mix around. The other thing you can do as well is obviously make sure it's a clean brush, make sure you've had no enamels or sort of turpentine or anything on the brush at all. Okay, so give it a rinse in some normal plain water. Make sure your brush is nice and clean, and then you can come along from your bottle, okay, pop it into a dish, okay, so you can give it a bit of a mix around, so you can tip just a little bit in, something like this. Okay, nice mix. Again, let's get a bit off the handle here, otherwise we're going to get caked in it. Okay, so what you can do, if we come along to this door first, what we're going to do is put a wash right over the door. Okay, just down, and we're just going to brush it all in, just like so. And we're going to just go around and just make sure it's in all the grooves. Okay, so you might need to rub it up, down a little bit to make sure it's in them all. Okay, so we come up with something like that. Okay, and then obviously what we do, we'll lean it on its roof just like this so it can start drying just like that, so obviously it doesn't all pull down to the bottom. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll just give our brush a quick rinse out in some water, clean the brush out. Okay, and then what we're going to do for the brickwork and everything else, you've got a choice. If you wanted to have a lighter type of mortar effect in there, obviously you can use something like the concrete, or you can use the dark, which will be very light. Obviously you could use the light wash. So we're going to use the concrete. So we'll give it a good shake. Okay, and then what you'll see is, we get a bit out of the brush. Okay, and then just coming along, we're just going to rub this into the brickwork, and we want it to rub all the way in. We don't want it just to sit on the surface, we need it to go in the gaps. So if you do a sort of swirly motion, you can actually rub it into all that brickwork. Okay, like this, and using the tip of the brush, just make sure it's in absolutely everywhere. So obviously we've got, normally you would let each one dry first, but we're going to carry on quite quickly with this just to show how quick we can do it. So obviously picking up a little bit of dirt there. But there we go, already you can see obviously it's turned grey. So we're just like that. So we'll let that dry off naturally. We're just going to put a bit in the recesses, just like that. Okay. Rinse out our brush again. Okay, now for the roof, obviously we're going to do lots of different things, but with the washes just for the moment, if we put the lids on just so we don't knock them over and cause a complete mess. Okay, so what we do, we're going to use the black. So this is quite an old black of mine. So we'll just get this one out. Okay, and then for the roof tiles, we're just going to come along with the black, and this will just give us a bit of stuff going on in here. As I say, it can be quite messy doing all of this, so just, you might want to protect your work area just a little bit. Okay. And what it does, it just gives you nice definition in there, just like so. And if you do get any bubbles, don't worry, they'll pop off and disappear shortly. So if we show you what we've got here, so as you can see, you get the ridge tiles, given anything. Obviously this is one we haven't done before, and we've got the one there, and on the front here this is starting to dry off quite nicely. Okay, so we just do the same for the back as well on this with the black. As I say, we're going to pop around and do other things to these, so just for the moment we'll just get these all in, just like so. The other way of doing this, obviously you could do it with an airbrush and just spray this on, but as I say, just for the moment we're going to do it a bit more like this. Okay, and then what we're going to do for the back, just down here, we're going to use the black wash in the brick, so you can see the difference